Good evening mga kalaro and welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro lang channel that talks about the different kind of game, the reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bisdak, Joel Parcon, and with me as always is Juxtapotito Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
I recently got this shirt, right? It's supposed to
Hmm.
be like a
Yes, new.
Chinese, it's a Chinese collar
Uh-huh.
supposedly, but then like I was told that if I kind of button it up like this, it looks kind of like a Roman collar. So I,
It
I get to
does.
be
It does.
so today I get to be presiding over
Yeah.
the funeral of our boy, our
Yeah.
canonical winner pick.
Yeah. What we thought was gonna be the funeral for uh the eventual who is going to be the eventual winner turned out to be the funeral of our boy.
Yeah. So Roman collar it is.
Anyway, so yeah, we were gonna give our thoughts about season 47, episode 13, entitled Bob and Weave. But before we begin, do consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you get updated whenever we come up with new episodes on this channel. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs whenever we talk Survivor, you can go to wherever you get your podcasts and just search for Council of Titos. And so, without further ado, let's begin. So, you had Bob and Weave. We
Hmm.
thought that we got it right. We thought it was a sports reference, but apparently it wasn't.
It was production being like, hey, here's our forcing somebody to say something that we think would be a good title.
You think that moving forward they should start doing that? I mean, you know, put it in the tree mail so that it becomes their episode title.
This is not the first time they've taken like something from Treemailer or like from an advantage or something and had it
Mm,
as the title of an episode. I
true.
think I've seen it at least once or twice before, so this is not entirely unprecedented. And if I were on production and I had this really cool idea for an episode title, no matter how bad it is, Bob and Weave, not exactly the best title,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would do that. I'd be like, hey, maybe we could include this in the sort of get to know one of the editors and like, hey, I got this great idea for a title. Maybe we can include it in the edit. I know you guys don't usually show tree mail being read out, but maybe this one time, maybe this one time.
That's right. That's right. And if you even think about it, Bob and Weave, did it really even describe the challenge that they were gonna have? Didn't really,
No, no, not
right?
really. I mean
Right?
the thing, but like
Yeah.
not really.
They wove the buoy along
Yeah,
the rope with the rope and everything, but Bob, because what?
because it was going up and like they had to bring the
Yeah,
ball up and
up
around.
and down. Yeah.
I
But anyway, it made it to the title. So whoever thought of that phrase in the in tree mail got what probably did what you were just describing.
Yeah, exactly. So, just as a sign of respect for the mad lad that did that, just a bit of a spoiler, I don't have a what it should have been called. There were a lot of other really good quotes, but
Mm.
just as respect to the mad lad, at least this is my headcanon.
Now
Gonna
here,
commit to the bit, committing to the bit.
committing to the bit. Okay, anyway, so here, we saw in this episode, uh, our boy getting voted off, right? And then later
Yeah.
on, Genevieve also got voted off. So
Yeah.
my question to you, my initial question to you is, it was this the episode that crowned Rachel as the winner of season 47?
Yes, that was the first thing I messaged you, right? Like that was the finale, right?
Yeah, right. It's oh my gosh. I mean, it's despite the fact that I mean, Teeny had the chance to be like the driver of the Genevieve vote, right? She was like, "Oh, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. I'm voting for
Yeah.
Genevieve." But in the end, she voted for Sam.
Yeah.
And it's so weird
Uh,
that Rachel and Sue actually voted for Genevieve, and it seemed as if they were trying to convince Teeny not to vote Genevieve.
in a way, I guess we should be happy, right? Like this is my crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
This is my crisis on Infinite Earths, right? Because I have said that my like winner pick, my canonical winner pick is our boy Andy.
Mm-hmm.
But my Elseworlds winner pick is Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is that moment in Crisis on Infinite Earths where it's like where it all just becomes like one Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of consolidates down for the Marvel people. This is like Battle World
Battle World.
or whatever. I can't remember. Doomsday. I don't remember what it was,
Yeah.
but it was also like something
Well, it is
similar.
coming up. As they apparently they say that it's coming up in the MCU soon.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
DC did it first. Yeah. Just just throwing that out
Just
there.
throwing that.
Mm.
We're just throwing that out there.
We're just throwing that out, and even on TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Arrowverse
The Arrowverse. Yeah.
did Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there.
But anyway, yeah. This is this is the Elseworlds scenario basically, right? So
Yeah,
yeah. And on and the fact that that Rachel actually was on top of both votes. Right?
yeah,
She was the one who figured out that Andy actually was playing a good game.
mm,
And that's why she because at first she had thought of taking out Sam, right?
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, because of that conversation that Andy had with her, which was for me the downfall of Andy,
yes,
uh, she started thinking, "Oh gosh, Andy's playing a better game than we thought, and
yep,
I need to take him out." Right? And she even
yeah,
had that parting word with Andy, like, "You were convincing, but not the way that not the way that you thought," or something like that.
yeah. So this just shows the power of a secret idol, right?
Mm.
Like the secret idol was the thing that got Andy well idled out, right? So,
Mm.
like, okay, all right. So
Yeah.
future Survivor players, take note. Don't tell everybody about your idol. But then on the flip side, in the very next vote, there was an absolutely useless idol
A
play.
completely useless idol play. She,
Like,
yeah.
I don't like there might have been a world where hey, what do you think about this? Since we're talking about idols, right? Do you think there is a world where Sue's where Sue's like stock rises because she saves Genevieve with an idol and then beats her at fire?
Ooh. Yes. If Sue had not been such a loyalty centered player, that would have been a great move.
Right? Like I was thinking about it. It was it was what kept me up like last night, right? Or a couple of nights ago
Mm-hmm.
after like watching the episode. Hmm. How could Sue have actually made it? Yeah, save
Mm-hmm.
Genevieve with the idol and then somehow get into fire because whoever beats Genevieve wins the season.
Mm-hmm.
And right now it looks like that's going to be Rachel.
Yeah,
You
you're
know?
right. Now that I think about it, yeah, that would have been Sue's move, but it would not have been consistent with her character throughout the entire
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also a very compelling like final jury speech as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I played a very loyal game to get up to this point, but when I needed to start playing the game for myself, my flight school, my children, my grandchildren, she might even have great grandchildren, I don't know. Um, but for them, like I had to do what needed to be done. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's the million hearts that Banu wants to win.
Oh gosh, we keep on going back to Banu, yeah, and
Yeah.
Jelinski. They have forever changed our mindset on Survivor. Uh,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, that is actually a pretty good what if.
Yeah. Get on
Meanwhile,
it. Get on it, Marvel.
yeah, get on. Yeah, what if Sue
What
played her idol for Genevieve?
what if season five or whatever?
Yeah. On the other hand, you've got Tini, who never really had any kind of agency throughout the this entire post merge, right? She was on the verge of getting some agency, especially with the Genevieve vote, but I think she got cold feet. And I don't know, there was probably some convincing from Rachel as well. Convincing by
Mm,
not really convincing, right? Because they had
mm,
that. that conversation at tribal, and then Jeff even called it out, asking
Yeah.
Sam if he was concerned, right?
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah, and then but then again, Rachel was like, she was non-committal basically
Mm,
to telling Teeny what to do. So yeah, right now, people have been. I was rooting for Teeny as well at the start of the season,
yeah.
but for me, her stock just kept going down and down. And right now, she is the ultimate GOAT. Because at least Sue, despite the fact that she is also a GOAT, she has been on the right side of the vote for a couple of times. Teeny
Yeah.
has not been on the right side of the vote.
Yeah. It feels so bad because she had, we mentioned this so many times.
Mm.
We were hoping for the teeny revenge tour,
Yeah.
like justice for Asia, justice for Saul,
Justice for Kishan as well, right?
Yeah, justice for Kishan. It would have been so nice.
Mm.
Would have been so nice if she was the one that drove the Genevieve vote.
Yeah.
Because that
Unfortunate.
would have been like such a nice sort of like full circle like story moment there. Like this one is for Kishan.
She just couldn't pull it off.
I guess that means she believed that the idol might have been real
Yeah. Yeah.
because she was splitting the vote basically.
But based on what she said, though, she was like, Genevieve has been lying to me so many times. I don't want to be lied to anymore. I guess she thought that Genevieve was still lying and that she wasn't going to believe in the lie anymore. Maybe that's what she was coming to.
It read to me like it was a vote split,
Mm.
and she was the one that was splitting the vote on or putting the vote um on Sam.
Mm. But uh heading into tribal, was the original thinking that Rachel and Sue really going to vote for Genevieve? Was that the original thinking? They were all thinking of getting Sam already, right? Because they still thought that the idol was real,
Yeah,
right? And then all of a
yeah.
sudden, Rachel and Sue vote for Jen, and it was Tina who voted for Sam.
This is a weird tribal.
It was the second tribal was weird for me. Because all the while I thought that Genevieve was gonna get through. I thought that they were gonna vote Sam out because I thought that
Mm,
Genevieve was gonna have that one last trick.
yeah. Ah, well. I was actually really looking forward to like after Andy got voted out. I wanted to see like the final episode
Mm-hmm.
be Genevieve versus Rachel. Like
Mm.
that would have been peak Survivor. Unfortunately, they work with what they're given.
Yeah, it's not like they can all of a sudden stop production and say, "No, you can't vote Genevieve out. We need it for final."
uh, like, but I don't know. They did drop something quite interesting, where there was that conversation between Genevieve and Rachel,
Mm-hmm.
where they were doing the whole like, yeah, we're both badasses, but then if like we don't make it to the final, who's gonna win? They're like, right? And
Yeah.
and the answer was Sam.
Mm.
So there's also like that possibility being set up
Yeah.
in in at least in sort of the story. So
Yeah.
if Sam wins, they have something to point back to.
Mm-hmm.
But it really does look like Rachel, right? Odds on favorite right now.
Rachel is odds-on favorite, of course. Unless Sam wins immunity, we all I for one think that he's gonna go to fire.
Hmm.
Uh oh yeah, that's a question though. Is he going to fire, or say for example, if either if Rachel wins, does he take Sam with her or to FTC, or does she put Sam in fire for giving him a chance to prove himself? Because fire making has become like a sort of well, not, no pun intended, a baptism of fire, or like, right? If you test someone through fire and they come out of it, it's like, okay, he is worthy, right?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. I was also thinking about this, like if Rachel wins, because she is a Franny Marin style like immunity challenge beast, right?
Hmm.
So like if she wins this final immunity challenge, I'm not sure that it would be in her best interest to bring Sam along.
Mm.
Or no, rather it would be in her best interest to bring Sam along. Um, Simply because it's going to be like the final nail in the coffin of like Sam not being a strong player and being stripped of all agency after after the merge. However, that could be another thing that the edit is like pointing back to, or that the remark about if neither Genevieve nor Rachel are in final tribal, then Sam is going to win. Like she might it might be that Rachel feels threatened by Sam somehow because that was kind of alluded to in that conversation that he is a little bit of a threat because she has seen him
Mm.
operate while he was on top, right? So
Yeah.
there's still that sort of um, image that she has of him. And if like the post-game interviews are to be believed, Rachel and Genevieve didn't exactly view themselves as the big strategic threats that everybody else viewed them as.
Mm.
Or at least
Really?
that's what Genevieve, well, that's what Genevieve was saying about herself, right? She was saying
Oh,
like,
I didn't get to see her exit interview.
yeah, like one of the things that she mentioned in her exit press was that she didn't feel as big, that she was as big of a social threat as other people in the tribe were making her out to be. And I feel like Rachel also kind of feels the same way, seeing as she wasn't exactly like a very big kind of strategic force throughout the season, at least in the eyes of everybody else, right?
Mhm.
So, that could in some world play kind of into it. But I don't know. I still think that it's in her best interest not to put
Mhm.
him in fire and, just make it make him more of a goat.
Mhm.
If Sam wins the final immunity, then of course it is in his best interest to put himself in
In
fire
fire, yeah.
with Rachel. Like
Yeah. I think
straight
if
up.
anyone other than Rachel wins, Rachel is going to fire. And
Yeah.
whoever wins is going to go up against Rachel. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's the I don't know, maybe I'm not sure if Sue's gonna do that
Oh yeah,
actually,
true.
now that I think about it.
If Sue wins, she's gonna bring Rachel with her because that's just the kind of person Sue is.
Yeah,
I
she's
don't even think that Sue is really in it to win the million.
she's there to what's it? She's there to promote her flight school.
Yeah. And she's there to prove that someone her age can make it to final tribal. And if she I mean a win in the final challenge will cement that statement for her, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the final challenge, I'm not really 45, but I made it. I won the
Mm.
final challenge. Yeah, and I'm in the final tribal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I actually really want Sue to win the final immunity challenge. Like it seems like I'm reminded of Romeo,
Mm.
of Owen,
Mm-hmm.
right? The zero vote finalists who had their huge moment at that final immunity challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Owen, that was Owen, right? Like
Yeah, it was
Owen,
on. Yeah.
yeah, Owen won their final immunity challenge. Like that if Survivor were scripted, that's what they would do.
But wouldn't people like, oh, it's another one of those? Wouldn't the audience be like, what, catch on to it?
You know how it goes, right? Like there's that, but then like if Survivor were scripted, let's just say that um Rachel wouldn't be
Rachel just wouldn't barge into final tribal.
Rachel. Rachel coming into the final episode wouldn't be basically a lock to win,
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But and so people, if they catch on to it, they'll point to, but Rachel. But I don't know. Um, but really, I really do hope that that Sue wins it. Well, either Sue or Teeny. That
Mm.
way they can somehow get their flowers. Well, Sue more than Teeny,
Sumer,
because
yeah, because Tini for the entire time has been shown to really just. It's not a. I cannot for the life of me say that she is getting a Charlie Brown edit. Uh, those are one of the things that we have an eye out on, an eye out for, right? For every season, who is getting the
Mhm.
Charlie Brown edit? Owen had that edit in previous season. I don't
Mhm.
think that Tini has been getting it, but she has been for me edited as someone with no agency in the game at all,
Yeah,
right?
so sad.
It's sad. She tries to make moves, but her moves are ill-timed. It's either one move too late or it's the totally wrong move, right?
Is this is this Survivor production prepping us for a teeny return for season 50?
Oh,
Because it would
mm,
fit. The way they edit her like this would fit for like season 50. Like we get to see if she finally has that agency. Which is why I like Sue winning
mm-hmm,
final immunity challenge more than Teeny,
mm-hmm,
because um I feel like Sue needs nice sort of finality to her story where she's like, I'm a badass,
mm-hmm.
you know. I'm 45.
Not quite
I'm
45.
I'm on the brink of senior citizenship,
Mm-hmm,
right? And I was able to outlast,
mm-hmm.
everybody else that was half my age, like,
Yeah.
I feel like that would be an amazing story, and to end it like at the final immunity challenge, and her to get a standing ovation but no votes from the jury, like that would be the best story.
Mm-hmm.
God, watch if she wins the season. And she finally is able to afford one of those super fancy like flight simulators
Mm,
for her flight school.
for her
Oh, that
flight
would be
school.
so badass.
I would love to see because they say for example there are other reality shows like what do you call this kitchen nightmares from before from with what's his face
Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay, where at the end of each episode they revisit the restaurant a couple of months after or something like that.
Yeah.
It would be nice for something like that to happen for Survivor, right? To for us to see, say for example, not just the winner. I think that they used to have something like that. It like the winner would get featured in a morning show in the US or something like that.
Mm,
Not the day after, because they used to do that like the day
yeah.
after before, right? But yeah, like months after, how are they or whatever, what has happened to them. But I guess with social
Mm,
media, we don't really quite need to do that anymore. But it
yeah.
would be nice for Survivor to have like a Survivor special. The winners of the new era, where are they now? Something like that,
Mm,
right? And not even just the winners, but the whoever, notable
yeah.
castaways from the new era of Survivor. Now going back to your point about Teeny, this narrative sort of playing out as a means for her to get invited for season 50. I think that it depends on what the theme of season 50 is going to be. If it's
Mm.
going to be all stars, I don't think the teen is going to be
Well, yeah, she's not. She's
invited back,
definitely,
right?
yeah.
If it's something like Redemption Island or Second Chances, like, right, that might be something for her. People like her, Rome from
Mm.
this season, even Andy, right?
Yeah.
Second Chances for them. But yeah, it depends on what the criteria will be
Mm.
for inviting uh, uh, castaways for season 50. Although there are rumors, I don't know how true they are, what the veracity or validity of these rumors are. Uh, that as soon as the episode aired, the this last episode, is that the people are saying that Jen and Andy might come back for 48 as early as 48.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, Survivor Italy.
Survive the mafia
Right? It's three tribes. So it's like Andy, Genevieve, and
and
Sam.
Sam.
Survivor Italy.
Survivor
Oh,
Italy.
there we
And
go.
then
You get that
it'd
for
be,
free, CBS.
yeah, it'd be the green tribe, the white tribe, and the red tribe, right?
Perfect. Operation Italy.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Lock it
yeah,
in.
lock it in. Lock it in, of course. Speaking of our boy Andy, yeah, I mean we gotta give him props. A lot of when he got voted out, I started seeing on social media a lot of support for Andy, but and
Yeah.
also a lot of he was also drawing a lot of flack. Um, our idols and our friends in, well, not our yeah, our idols
Our
in
heroes.
or no our heroes in no buffs sort of started seeing the value of Andy's game, but
Started
still,
seeing the light. They
but
started seeing the Andy light.
didn't quite get there, didn't quite buy into the Andy hype, right? Us, because we initially, it was really just because he was Filipino or part
Yeah,
Filipino, that
that our first episode. Oh my god. Why is he my canonical winner pick? But I
I
believe.
believe. And our belief in Andy paid off. I believe. I think so. And yeah, it was the fact that he was. It was the hubris for me. It was the hubris. What's the saying?
No,
Before the fall, hubris comes
yeah,
before the
like
fall, or something like that.
like pride comes before the fall or something.
There you
But
go.
like,
Yeah.
it was the other thing that we sent to each other on that little group chat was pictures of Icarus.
Yeah. Yeah. You sent that, and that was exactly what it was. He saw the end in sight. He saw
Yeah,
and he just got too close to the sun.
yeah.
Ah, my gosh,
Uh,
that that was it. I mean, he could have the move for him there would have been to go with to flip one last time,
yeah, yeah,
right? And take out Sam.
yeah. Oh, but you see that's the problem with Survivor, and why it might be fairly incompatible with um somebody that comes into it thinking purely in terms of numbers,
Hmm.
right? Because you're working with imperfect information or you're working with incomplete information. And this was the perfect example of it, because assuming that Andy had all of the information, or assuming that all of Andy's information was correct, that is to say that Rachel only had a block of vote and like not an idol, he he was basically doing the right thing,
Mm.
right? He was doing jury management, and he was doing it quite well. He was giving her flowers, etc., etc. And if his information were accurate, that is to say, if Survivor were a game of perfect information, that would have been the optimal move.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, but I was thinking along the lines of, well, again, him going back to whether or not Rachel can still win. Yeah, going back to the whole Kyle conversation about being able to win one more immunity challenge, which Rachel did win.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, this was probably the best time to take Rachel out, because he did need to take out Rachel, Sam, and Genevieve.
Yeah.
Well, not less Sam, maybe. I think that if he had gotten to the end with Sam included, he would still have had a chance to win.
Yeah, I know if he got into final tribal with Sam and with Genevieve talking about Operation Italy.
Mm, yeah. Oh, but yeah, we did also talk about how it would have been in his best interest to put Sam and Genevieve on the jury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, playing with imperfect information,
Hmm.
flew too close to the sun. Uh,
The wax in his wings got melted off and he fell.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well,
Yeah.
at least this means we get to see him on Survivor 48.
Yeah. Hopefully the
Survivor
rumors
Italy.
Survivor Italy. Hopefully the rumors are true. Yeah. Any other things that you wanted to point out from this episode?
Yeah. Um, this is a weird episode.
Why
Because
so?
when when Jeff was talking about it, like somebody on the On Fire podcast asked about um what what is the decision making process, or what is the decision making that went behind that was behind like giving um two 2 hour episodes as sort of
Mm,
like the finale, right?
mhm.
And the thing that Jeff said was it was the network.
Oh.
It was CBS basically saying like, "Oh yeah, do you think you can fill two-hour slots on this date because we're trying something with our um scheduling or whatever."
Mhm.
And so I think that they had their plan for this to be like one long 2.5 hour finale or something,
Mm,
or maybe even a 2 hour finale plus like the after show, quote unquote
mhm.
after show. Blech. Um
The pizza
and
party.
yeah, the pizza party. You know what they should have, like not necessarily an after show, like instead of where are the winners now, they should have like an after show with like all of the cast there like they used to,
Mm.
and
In a
just
studio.
yeah, in the studio, like just have it during the off season. It doesn't even necessarily have to be with all of the people there or whatever,
Mhm.
but like after having processed it, it was it
It
was the
was a weird
network.
episode.
It was
It
the
was the
network.
network. They wanted to do a Deathly Hallows thing. The movie Deathly Hallows was made into part one and part two. uh,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
they were extending it. That would
yeah,
have worked if Genevieve had remained in the final four. It
yeah.
would have been a little bit more compelling. Because right now
Mm.
it's for I think that the general consensus is that Rachel
Rachel
is
is,
gonna
yeah.
win. Right?
Yeah. The next episode is just basically going to be a coronation night.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Unless Rachel goes to fire and loses in fire.
yeah.
That's the only way out for the
At
other
which
three.
point, this is gonna be like a top tier season of New Era Survivor. Maybe like, in the upper half of Survivor seasons of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But then if like Rachel doesn't win,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna knock it down a few like spots. Because anybody else winning, I don't think is going to make very much sense from a storytelling point of view.
Exactly.
You know, like Gabler's win made sense,
Mm.
despite what other people on the internet like
Would
to
like to
think.
think.
Like from the storytelling point of
Mm-hmm.
view, it made sense.
Mm.
Ah,
But if Rachel doesn't win, because Sam has not really shown anything.
yeah,
Teeny for the entire well after the merge, right? Teeny for the entire season, she has just been on the losing side, and
yeah,
then Sue has just been basically a supporting character, has not
yep.
been a main character at all. right?
Yeah. So like this whole finale, this whole two-part finale would have made a really good 2.5 hour finale shown at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pacing of it seems right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the pacing of it would, or it feels like it would be paced better
Mm-hmm.
if that were the case. But they had to like fill out those those 2 2 hour slots.
Mm-hmm.
So that made this episode quite weird. This was the climax. This was basically the finale. The next episode is going to be like your denouement or whatever,
Yeah.
your falling action and
Mm-hmm.
like trying to give us a nice soft landing,
I don't
which
know. We'll see.
which will make the after show even more kind of useless, right? Because that was the denouement in the
Yeah, that
previous,
we
like,
used to be the denouement. Yeah.
yeah, but like now, I don't know. Anyway,
Well, it will give at the very least it will give Andy the chance to explain to the rest and to the TV audience or to us what he was really up to, right?
yeah,
When while he was there.
yeah,
So at least that gives us that sort of affirms our thinking of the correctness of Andy's gameplay, right?
yep. All I know is Andy for 50 or 48.
48, 48,
Yeah,
49, 50. Any one of those.
yeah. Survivor Italy. Let's go.
Survivor Italy. They go to Naples. Uh, uh, let's go ahead. And this was talked about because Genevieve and Rachel were thinking about themselves as Harry Potter and Voldemort. Although I do not see
Yeah,
either of them being Voldemort. Uh,
yeah,
they are both main characters, right?
yes.
They are both protagonists. I don't think that any of them are antagonists. In a way, you can probably say that Genevieve was antagonistic because of the way that she spun Teeny, poor little Teeny.
Oh,
Uh, so yeah, let's go ahead. So this is gonna be who are the final six in the Harry Potter universe. Let's go with Andy. Who is Andy in Harry Potter?
Harry Potter.
He
Would you
didn't live
expect any?
though.
Would you expect anything else from the Council of Titos?
Well, for me, yeah, well, yeah.
Andy
Uh,
is Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter for you, okay. For
And
me, mm,
let's just say that Rachel is Neville Longbottom.
I had something similar, but
Because
for different. Uh huh.
there's the theory that Harry
Yeah.
Potter was not the chosen one, or Harry
Mm-hmm.
Potter and Neville Longbottom were both chosen ones,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like this case of quantum superposition where whatever played out, either of them could have been the chosen one.
Uh huh.
So this is the Elseworlds, quote unquote, where Neville Longbottom is the chosen one, and Harry Potter dies at the hands of Voldemort. So Rachel is Neville Longbottom,
Uh huh.
her idol is Voldemort, and Harry Potter, Andy.
Her idol is okay. So Voldemort kills. Okay, all right. Okay, got it, got it. Well, for me, okay, I'm not gonna with the whole. I'm not gonna stick to the bit. Uh, but yeah, for me, Andy, because he also sort of has the hair. For me, Andy is Snape. Yeah,
Ooh, I see that. I can see
because
that. Yeah.
yeah, people all thought that he was a loser, right? But he was
Mm.
actually a good guy. Right, and this is even for me, this is like a something to put the description better. It fell upon Harry to realize that Snape was actually a good player or a good guy, right? Just like
Ooh, yeah.
in the books and in the movies, Harry was the one who realized that Snape was actually the half-blood prince, and
Mm.
he was a good, well, in this case he was a good player. He is a good player, right? Yeah.
All
So yeah,
right.
that's for me. And yeah, Harry. For me, Rachel is Harry. And then going with that, going with your explanation of the Harry Potter Neville Longbottom thing. For me, it's Genevieve who's Neville Longbottom
Ooh.
because she was the other possible chosen one, right?
Ooh.
And yeah, if it had not been Rachel, it would have should have could have been Genevieve. Yeah.
Okay.
So who for you is Genevieve?
Huh.
Is she Hermione?
Yeah, I guess that would be like the obvious one, right? Like that would be the very obvious
Mm-hmm.
Genevieve is Hermione because she's insanely talented.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of an outsider, right? Like they're all
Mm-hmm.
Americans. She's Canadian, right? They're all like
True.
from magic families, and she's a
Mm-hmm.
muggle.
She's a
Like,
muggle. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah, there. I think that seals it. There we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
Hermione.
right.
Sure,
All right.
sure.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's
Cool,
good.
cool.
Now let's
Mm.
go to Sam. Who is Sam?
Ron.
Ron. So you've got the Operation Italy as Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
It makes sense, right? It all makes
Now
sense. It all it's there we yeah, yeah, there we go.
okay. All right. Well, me, I again, I've got something else. Sam for me is well, he's the Robert Pattinson character, Cedric Diggory, because he was a if
Ooh,
he
yeah.
was. I mean, in that, yeah, I read that book, but yeah, Cedric
He was
Diggory.
taken out like a punk in book
Yeah,
4.
yeah, but he was a strong favorite. He was like, ooh, it's Cedric Diggory. He's like the guy, right?
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
again, he lost steam towards the end, and unfortunately, spoiler alert for those who have not yet seen the Harry Potter movies or have read the books, he dies, right? So yeah, I think
Yeah.
that is the fate that awaits Sam. Not dying,
Yes.
but getting voted off or
Yeah.
not
Well,
winning.
well, well, when you think about it, everybody's eventual fate is
Yeah,
death. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Up next, we've got Sue. Who do you have?
Uh, yeah, I guess we can go like Professor McGonagall,
My
right?
God. Mhm.
Like, you know, she's old, she's wise, but she's still like hip with the kids in a way, like still a very important character.
Mhm.
A bit of a hard ass, but has a soft heart.
Mhm. Mhm.
All about all about like loyalty.
Mhm.
Like if we were saying who are they in terms of WWE wrestlers, I'd say that like Sue would be John Cena, hustle, loyalty, respect. Like so if there's a hustle, loyalty, respect character in Harry Potter, mga kalaro, just put that in the
Mm.
comments down below.
Yeah.
Just let us know. Let us know who's John Cena in the Harry Potter world,
Yeah.
and by the transitive property, that would make Sue whoever that character is. But for now, she's Minerva McGonagall in my head canon.
Okay. Right. Well, actually, again, I have a different character for Sue. Your assignment of the character actually is better, because it makes sense in the trio. Andy as Harry Potter, Genevieve as Hermione, and Sam as Ron Weasley. But I do have Sue as Ron Weasley, because I scoured my memory again. Mga kalaro, if you have other opinions, please do correct me. But in my head, what was Ron's role in the whole story but to just be around Harry and help him along to become the hero? Just like what Sue is gonna do now, right? She's unless she suddenly feels the need to have some more agency in her game, she's basically just there to help Rachel win, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or she could be Hagrid, the ultimate like cheerleader.
Mm, true. That could be it too. And now we've got
Also
Steve.
a bit of an outsider,
Mm-hmm,
in a way, a bit of an
mm-hmm.
outsider. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now we've got Teeny. Who do you have for Teeny?
Oh man, this is so bad because I really love Teeny is exactly the type of person that I would like to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
Like you like when I was in college, we would have been really like if we were in college together, I'm sure we would have been really good friends. Unfortunately, the edit that she's giving, or the edit that the show is giving her,
Mm-hmm.
uh it's like this weird toss up between Dobby
Dobby.
and like
I'm
and
trying to think of Dobby.
or like moaning Myrtle, right? Because moaning Myrtle, like a ghost whose presence is felt but really doesn't have any agency because she can't like touch stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like Dobby, again, the definition of a creature without agency. Like you need to be given a pair of socks to get any sort of agency. Like she had no agency. She was like the house elf. It's so sad.
I forgot about Dobby. I would have thought of that instead, because I was thinking along the same way, along the same lines, right? She doesn't really have a lot of agency. She's around these big players, right? And she really wants to play. She really wants to play with them, but she's not really kept in the mix. She doesn't have anything like that. For me, Teeny is actually Argus Filch, the
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 caretaker.
groundskeeper. Uh, she's around these big players. She's around Harry Potter and Rachel, or Andy and other all of. She's around these big players, and she wants to play. She thinks that she has a big role in the game, but unfortunately, she quite doesn't, or at the very least, the edit doesn't show us that she
Yeah,
has a big role in the game, right? So yeah,
yeah. Dobby though.
Dobby. If I had remembered Dobby, yeah, that would have been it.
This is the petition. This is the petition to like the Survivor internet community. Instead of calling it a Charlie Brown edit, how about we start calling it a Dobby
A
edit?
Dobby edit.
Somebody that has no agency in the game.
I do have some others, right? So for especially for Saul, because he's like the lovable big guy. I had him as Hagrid.
Oh, makes
Yeah,
sense. Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Gabe and Kyle for me are, I had Gabe as Hermione Granger. He has the hair as
Oh yeah,
described in the
yes, he
books.
does.
He
He
has the
does. The
hair.
the, the big curly hair, yeah.
Yeah. And for me, Gabe is Hermione because he is also partnered up with the castaway I have as Victor Crumb. Kyle is by Victor Crumb, the guy from
Ooh,
also, yeah,
what's it? Yeah.
Durmstrang or
The other
something.
school. The other
Yeah, the other
school.
school, the school from Eastern Europe. Yeah, he was a challenge beast, but was actually good-hearted, right?
Yeah.
That was Victor Crumb. So yeah, everything
Hmm.
else is just
So does
superficial.
that mean that Jeff is Dumbledore?
Dumbledore, of course.
Jeff is obviously Dumbledore.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Unless he's Voldemort.
I would have let's say for Saul I would have assigned him Sirius Black.
Ooh, that's also good. That's also good.
Right? Like, another like, cool, like
Mm-hmm.
wise person that
Mm-hmm.
we all thought were like I really had him as being as being a villain
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning of the season. Like, yeah, this guy is giving out like with his pre-game press and like his interviews and stuff. Like he was giving, somewhat villainish vibes. But as it
Ooh,
turns out, like, no, no, not villain vibes at
not
all.
at all. Mm.
Yeah, and like
But if you had
turns
him as
out,
Sirius Black, then Teeny would have been Harry Potter.
oh yeah, but that's why I said we only go with the final six. That way it makes sense
It
with
makes
it.
more.
That
It
way
makes
there's
more sense.
there's an internal logic.
So yeah, so that is who the final six are as Harry Potter characters. So it should have been. You don't have any
I'm
in
committing to the
respect.
bit.
You're committing to the bit.
I'm committing. I'm totally committing to the bit, even though like it's bittersweet. That would have been a better like
Mm.
line, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or like freaking flipped, like
Mm.
great lines. But no, like I'm committing to the bit. This was like a junior producer being like, "Hey, I have an idea, and we're going to push it through."
I'm gonna
But
include it in the tree mail, and I'm gonna bribe the editor to include that shot.
yeah, you can't fit the round thing in the square. It doesn't matter.
So for me, it is actually it's this island isn't big
Isn't big
enough.
enough for
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
another one that would have been. But yeah, Bob and Weave. For all the the fact that it doesn't quite fit into what the challenge was. But yeah, okay. Kudos to
yeah.
the whoever came up with that.
Yeah. The funeral procession, my funeral
Oh,
procession would have
yeah,
also been like
yeah,
really good,
yeah. That
right?
would have been really good.
Like a little bit of irony there, a little bit of
Hmm.
irony, but you know, no, no,
Yeah.
it's the perfect title.
Hmm.
Bob and Weave is the
Now,
perfect title.
let's go with survivors of the week. Castaway of the week. I think that yeah, for this one,
Uh,
this was definitely a Rachel.
This was definitely Rachel, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so let's go ahead. Well, I don't think that we need to explain that anymore. We've been talking
Yeah.
about it for
Yeah, the whole
for the entire
episode,
time.
our prediction for next week is going to be exactly what we've been doing this episode. Our prediction for the episode that we are about to watch, or that you're about to watch, dear listener,
Hmm.
in a few hours, I
Yeah.
guess. That episode that you're about to watch is going to do exactly what we've been doing for the past like hour or so, giving Rachel her flowers. Just a little bit of a spoiler, that's the
Mhm.
prediction.
Yeah. Yeah. Goat of the week. Who's your goat of the week?
It's either going to be Sue or Teeny, and this is in the survivor like sense of the word.
Hmm.
Like they are gonna be brought to the end
Mm.
as the goats
Yeah.
of the week.
Of next week.
It- yeah.
As well. So yeah. For me, it's more Teeny than Sue because at least Sue was able to have some bit of agency by using her idol. Yeah,
Yeah.
Teeny, wrong side of the vote for both votes. Right? She tried to ally herself with the Italian trio, but that was the wrong move to make. And
Yeah.
then she voted for Sam, while Rachel and Sue voted for Jen.
Hmm.
Purple of the week.
The infrared light, or just light in general, I guess. That was a really cool shot, right? Like just to give the impression that
Hmm.
you can't see anything, but you can
And then,
hear them. Like
yeah.
amazing, amazing. I love it. I love it when they do that. When like when form and message like come together
Hmm.
in such a cool way like that. You know, perfect.
Yeah.
But
There you go. Okay.
whoa. Whoa! Just like there was an internet blackout on Joel's side of things, I suppose my purple of the week is light.
Good point. Good point. And again, even in our even in our show, form and message come together. For me, my purple of the week was humility for Andy.
Yeah,
That was the last hurdle for him.
yeah,
Yeah, let's say he still knew, he still thought that he was voting Rachel, but if he hadn't shown his cards, laid out his cards in front of Rachel on the table, with Rachel, Rachel probably wouldn't have realized that he was playing a good game, and he would have
Yeah.
gotten through that vote,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so that's what cost him the vote. Right. Up next we've got whose line is it actually? So this past episode, who do we attribute it to? I mean, Teeny was the one who read it first. But
Yeah.
but then again, we thought well, I thought it was Sam,
Mm,
right?
uh, it was, um, it's, what's it? It was, it's teeny.
Or it's the prod guy.
Yeah, it's the
It's the
prod guy.
junior producer.
Yeah. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Let me just whip open IMDb. Try to
Or
find
who
Survive 47, episode 13, Bob and Weave.
uh-huh.
Crew.
Who is the junior producer?
Oh, where's the crew?
They
Oh,
probably just have Jeff. Do they only have Jeff as a in the
they're
crew?
all cast and crew. Hmm. All right.
No director.
Sound department, special effects, camera, the grips, casting, editorial, producer. All right. Who here is like the lowest level producer?
It can't be Mark
As
Burnett, right?
associate producer,
Yeah.
associate field producer. Hmm.
So whoever it is,
Hmm.
yeah, make a judgment call. Who do you think made that poem for Tree Mail?
Yeah. Let's see. Hmm. Somebody from the art department. Who
Mm.
who's who's uh who's the lowest level?
It's really got to be the lowest. It can't be one of like the senior art directors or anything like that.
Yeah, Charlie Kent, standby props.
There you go. There you go.
Or Nick Evans, the unit carpenter.
Okay. So either one of those two will get credit for whose line is it actually. Now for
Oh
next
no, the
episode.
best boy. It should be the best boy.
Because he's the best boy.
Yeah.
Next episode, let's
Angelo de Guzman, best boy
all
and
right. All
electrical
right.
department.
All
Good
right.
job.
Good job. For next episode, episode 14 or episode 13B. The episode title is The Last Stand.
Oh, bro, he's Filipino.
So it's him.
It's
It's
him.
his
It's him.
line.
It's
It's his
him.
line
Yeah, it's his
actually.
line.
Yeah. The Last Stand. Who's gonna say it? Is it Rachel? Well, if you're committing to the bit, it's Rachel, right?
It's Rachel. It's Rachel.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say that it's I'll go ahead and say that it's Sue. Just
Ooh.
yeah, just to because she had like a she was very happy in the next time on. And I'm guessing that she's gonna say something like that. Sue or
Mm.
Sam? Hmm. Sue. I'll go with Sue just to throw a curveball. Right. Yeah. Anything
Yeah.
else you want to point out from this episode
Um.
or want to talk about this episode or the next episode, episode 13B?
Yeah. Congratulations to getting that title pushed through.
Rachel Lamont for winning Soul Survivor. You heard it here. Probably not first, but you heard it here.
Yeah, you definitely heard it here. Probably like seventh, right? We should like whip out like the list of like most popular Survivor podcasts. We're
Mhm.
probably like pretty down low
Pretty
there.
down low. Yeah.
We're pretty down. Please like, share, and
Yeah.
subscribe just so we can get a little bit higher, just a little bit
Just
higher,
a little bit higher.
just a little tiny bit higher. You know,
Yeah.
we don't want to be as high as like is like Once Upon an
Mm-hmm.
Island, or let those guys be number two on the charts, number one in your hearts, and all of that sort of thing. We don't want to supplant Rob Has a Podcast. We just want to be like not last.
True. True. That's right. So
We
yeah,
just want to be Andy.
we want to be Andy, right? We want to be Andy.
At least Andy from like the first episode, not last.
Not last, not
Like
first
John
one out.
Lovett, amazing guy, but you know, we're broadcasters.
Mm-hmm.
But not yeah. We would prefer to have the broadcasting career of John Lovett as opposed
Mm.
to his
True.
Survivor career. Let's just say that. So
True.
please like, share, subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Just just, just inch up a little bit.
Do
Just
we
a little
also
bit. Yeah.
like get a rating on the podcasts? There's something like that too on the podcast, right?
Yeah. There
Yeah,
should be.
give us a five
Yeah.
star rating on wherever you're getting your podcast, right?
Yeah. If you like, give us 5-star rating. That would be quite good.
Yeah,
Yeah. 1 star for every Power Ranger, or 1 star for every Backstreet Boy.
there you go. There you go. That's another couple of lists that we can probably think of. Think of doing. Anyway, that is it for tonight's episode. We would greatly appreciate it if you do, as Zhao said, hit the like button, subscribe, share our videos, check out whatever shorts we come out with, so just so that we don't get voted off the channel. At any rate, this has been Joel Parcon.
And I'm still really sad that Andy's gone. My wife wouldn't watch the episode. I was like, let's
Aw.
watch Survivor. Like, for my second watch, I usually watch it with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, it's fine with spoilers. Like, yeah, who was booted off? And like, Andy. And it's like, I don't want to watch the
Aw.
episode. Aw.
Anyway, we hope to see you on the council again soon. Until then, stay safe mga kalaro. The Titos have spoken.